Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast, show about fishing and random takes from land 10,000 lakes. Want to do that one real quick, Tim?
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Because it's time to talk about beer. Now, here is
another.
a weird behind the scenes cut. If you're watching this on YouTube, you got it. But if you were listening to this just on iHeartRadio or whatever, you missed Tim. He was really, really stroking that six pack. He was just giving it a good old massage. And you missed it. You should go over to YouTube and like, subscribe and all that stuff and check it out.
It's not a six pack anymore.
It's not a six pack anymore. We are going to talk about beers. Now, I have a confession, but before the confession, I'm going to say this. When I thought of this topic, I did not anticipate it being National Beer Day.
Yeah, I didn't know about it.
Totally lined up on accident, and I fucking love coincidences like that.
Yes, dude. It's like
I love it.
The universe just said, have your naughty Thursday.
and here is my confession. Tim?
Yep.
One of my best friends, guys, I don't ever say you're my best friend. I don't think they ever just say one. You're one of my best friends, but dude, I've never thought about you as like my beer friend. I don't take offense to that. I hope you don't take offense to that.
I don't take offense to it.
Because when me and you hang out and drink and have a good time, alcohol's never the center of it, first of all. It's always food, hanging out, lots of talking. That's why we knew we could do a podcast. Because our wives just end up staring at us for 6 hours. But but it's always different stuff, and the beer is just the elixir that keeps things going. It's always the background addition. We don't ever really talk about beer, and that's why I thought it was a good topic for us on the podcast, because
it is.
I totally have beer friends. I have friends that have microbrewed in their garage.
Sure.
I have friends that I'm just like, when I hang out with that person, we're drinking beers.
Sure. Yep.
And I was like, oh, weird. Now, I've had my alcoholic bouts. You've been there. I have been a severe alcoholic in the past. I've controlled it. I mean, at the worst, I'm a functioning alcoholic now. I don't think that, but but it's always been, like going to hang out with Tim. Yeah, beers are going to get drank, but it's not like I have to get this kind of beer or I have to get beers and like different kinds of beers in a variety. We always just wing it, but good alcohol is usually the front of it, I think. Like
for
good
sure.
whiskeys.
Yep.
Or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, Jesus. And you're drinking the beers and the bourbon.
I'm pouring my pint right now because it was a can, but I'm pouring it.
Yeah, for sure. We're a lot of times like just, let's hear it.
Does that sound as good to you as it does to me?
I heard just mainly the end. I might not have my headphones loud enough.
Okay. Well, hopefully it turns up in the podcast because that sounded beautiful to me.
Oh, I bet, because I know when I pour stuff on my side, I'm just like, oh, man, it's like some ASMR stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But just like, I'm not into the ASMR stuff, really.
I mean, I could find a place for it in my life, but I'm not.
I could find a place for like the beer pouring in my life. But like, just like I've seen the videos before where the girls are just like tapping the mic with their nails, and I'm just like, I want to just be like, stop touching the fucking mic.
Touch the mic.
Jesus Christ. I don't know how anybody's into that stuff.
I know, for real.
Man.
I get it too.
But yeah, booze for sure is like something that we've always connected over, like just whiskey and stuff. I mean, we've been friends for long enough where there was a time where, like, I mean, we were around each other when it was first starting to drink beer and stuff. And we're just trying to like
Mhm. Mhm.
handle drinking whatever somebody puts in front of us, where we're
Right.
trying not to throw up when we have it, you know? Like that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
early
for real,
enough in
for
the
real.
thing, just like, ugh.
Right.
I've never really had that personally with like beer and stuff, but like some of that stuff where it's like, whew. I remember like one of the first parties we ever went to when we're drinking, somebody had a bottle of 151. Like the first time I ever fucking drank.
Jesus
I had like 8 shots
Christ.
of vodka and some 151,
Oh my
and the room
god.
was spinning and shit. And I remember I remember very vividly like getting drove home by somebody else
Yeah.
and just like barely being able to see what's going on the road. And I'm just like, I
Right.
know why this is illegal to drive on. But like that's how
Oh my
long
god.
we've been friends, that like I
Right,
think
right,
one
like,
of my
even those
first times ever
childhood
being
mistakes
drunk.
and,
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's what I even was saying, it's like, in my 20s, I was a shitty drunk. I don't deny that or, like, pretend that it wasn't happening, uh, but it was
Hey,
it
people got their shit, man.
right, right,
I
exactly,
you
and
you you were at least like had your moments with the legal stuff. I had moments with shit on
with
the streets, you
sure,
know?
right, with that
So
street shit, right, 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 for sure, and actually, that's a really good point, is, like, I think that, beer cuts down your ambitions. I mean, me and you around each other sober, we kinda, let our guard down and everything like that anyway, but I think the crazy thing about alcohol in general and, like, why prohibition was so crazy is just, like, people just relax and cut
yeah.
down. Now, I know there's people out there with problems or whatever, and if I know it's Alcohol Awareness Month, so it's a bad thing. Like, if you got a problem, go work it out, right? There's
Yo, wait a
there's
minute.
tons of resources out there.
National Beer Day is in Alcohol Awareness Month.
Yeah, it is. Who makes
Just
this shit
wanted
up?
just wanted to make you guys aware of this shit we got right here. Just know it's out there.
But so, okay, first thing is, yeah, we don't really talk about beers. We usually end up talking about, like, liquors and stuff like that, but, uh so for that reason, I wanted to be like, "Okay, yeah, let's talk about beers," because I love porters, dude. Porters, stouts, like, dark
Yeah.
beers, and, it's been a snowy week. Fuck, man, I want them
Yep.
so bad. So, I'm
Yeah,
actually
for
drinking,
sure.
they call it chocolate peanut butter porter. It's from
All
my
right.
hometown, Waconia Brewing.
Yes, sir. Oh, you got the Waconia stuff.
Yeah, Waconia.
Hey, there's gonna be more of those. Boy,
Oh,
howdy.
yeah, there's definitely gonna be more of those on this one.
That one felt good. Oh,
But it's chocolate peanut butter porter, dude. I fucking love it. I love dark beers,
yeah,
but
dude.
if someone were to ask me, it's just like, "Yeah, so who else is what's Tim into?" I'm like, I don't know." They're
Here
like, "You do
is
podcasts with that guy, don't you know all kinds of stuff?" It's like, I've known the guy for so many years, but, like, what do you drink when it comes to beers? Because porters are I shift out of them during the warm season. Oh, that's it.
sure. So yeah, when it gets warmer, I definitely like a more easy drinking beer for the
Yeah,
most part. But at the
yeah.
same time, like I just like stuff that tastes good. I don't
Mhm.
really like discriminate over what kind of beer it is, but like some of them just aren't as refreshing, you know? On those hot
Oh,
days,
yeah.
it's like you just want something more refreshing. So that's the
Yeah.
only real thing, is like when it's a thick beer like that.
Yep.
But my thing is bitterness. And
Yes.
I'm sure you did some research on this, like the
Yes, I did.
IBUs. Yeah.
You just set me up for a segue.
Yeah. Yeah. So like hit us with that research, and then I'll go into my thing, because I don't
Okay,
want to like,
because yes, this was the big one. This was actually what sparked it, and then I was like, "But why just focus on that?" Because me and Tim don't talk about that's how we kicked off the beginning of this. Is like it started with IBUs, and then it led
yeah.
me into deeper thought about, like, no, I just really need to talk to Tim about beers. It's crazy. So here's the thing. Got this chocolate porter, right?
Yeah.
6%, 6.4% alcohol, 24 IBUs, which I always thought was high-ish,
Mm-hmm.
and it is, relatively speaking, to, like, the more easygoing, refreshing beers because I looked
Yeah.
up, of course, you gotta look up the classics, the Bud Lights and the Coors and the stuff like that, right?
Right. Sorry. What did you say yours was?
Oh, yes. So let's exchange that.
Or
So
what did
IBU,
you say? What was that number that you dropped? Sorry,
yeah, no. So let
I
me
was
let me
looking at my
just start.
can.
Okay, so IBUs for anybody listening, any is the International Bitterness Unit.
Units. Yep.
Yep. So it's an International Bitterness Unit. It goes between 5 and 120. Beers don't go up to 120.
Right. Like,
Just so
well,
you know, they
dude, did
don't.
you this little side note, did you come across this in your research about being like the palate can't tell the difference of anything like past a certain number? I can't remember what the number is.
Oh shit, I did
But
not.
I've
No.
actually I've actually heard that like some people claim that they can, but from like a science
Interesting.
perspective, they say something around like 100 IBUs. You can't tell the difference. Anything past that is
Really?
just like bitter as fuck.
Right. It's just
And
like
your
so
palate,
bitter, your tongue
yeah,
just makes your brain
yeah,
freak out.
yeah. And I'm just just like as soon as heard that, where some people would be like, "I could tell the difference," and just be like, "There's something wrong with you. You shouldn't like beers that are even fucking close to that. I don't know what the hell you're doing."
Well, there's not uh there's nothing there's like okay, so the scale goes between 5 and 120, right?
Right,
But
right, right.
like beers typically don't fall into that extreme. Now, we do have IPAs which I don't like. I don't like
Me
IPAs,
neither.
but we have them now. My wife's got a thing for the IPAs
Okay.
since birth. And there is not since her
Since
birth, since
right.
child. She is since
Yeah,
she
that's
had
what I
it.
was gonna say. Like she's been drinking. No, I knew what you meant, but yeah. So
No,
really, her like taste changed after the baby, huh?
yeah, because she was
That's kind of crazy.
huge into the ciders, and ciders are
Oh, sure,
sweet. I mean, almost all ciders are sweet. Of course, there's the flat ones and the fucking bitter ones and whatever,
hmm
and you can
hmm
add things to them and stuff like that. But like, she was really into the sweet stuff,
yeah,
and she was into sweets when she was pregnant as well. Like, ice cream
sure,
consumption went up, which normally we're not sweets people, and
sure,
then pow, it just
okay,
it flipped on her. Now she's not gonna drink a porter, which is only
sure,
24, but
yeah,
we got an IPA downstairs,
yep.
70 something.
God damn,
Yeah, dude.
no thanks.
Mm-mm,
Not
mm-mm.
for
So
me.
I didn't find out the limit, but I can tell you, in a can from a local brewery, we're sitting on one on a 6 pack right now with 70 some IBUs, dude. I can't do it.
Nope.
And so it's the International Bitterness Unit, and they're literally scientifically measuring chemicals in the beer. Porter right now that I'm drinking, 24, which is
There you go.
way above your light beers, dude.
Way above
Way,
light beers.
way above.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
what are you
but
sitting at? And what are you drinking?
what I'm drinking right now, currently, this here, I mean, I might have bought some of this, or you told me about this before, but this is the banana bread.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's good shit. But
Fuck yeah, I love
this
that beer.
is this is more bitter than like something that you would think because it's in like the fruit category or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've done research before, just trying to figure out what I like,
Yep.
and I've had a hard time because some of it can throw you a loop. So this is a little bit more bitter than some of those other fruits. And
Mm-hmm.
this one's 22.5.
Okay.
And it's
Did you pour it out?
EBU.
Did you pour it out?
I did not pour this out. Nope, I drank that whole can that I already opened
Yeah, I
because I
think it
got
might be on the darker side. So maybe you have a different one than what I'm used to getting when I
okay,
buy. I haven't because I haven't found that one lately. The one that I used to buy, that I've told you about before. I haven't
okay.
found it lately.
This one's
And it
made
was
by
darker.
Eagle.
It was kind of porterish. It was
Okay,
so I'd be and if you're in the 22 range. But
no,
here's
this
the
is pretty
thing.
light. Darker. It's relatively light.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be like just. It's definitely not porterish,
Okay.
but it's
The one that I
darker
used, so
than
it
like
might
a
be
light
different.
beer.
Might be a different brand. I'd be surprised
Yeah,
by that though. Maybe I'm just because I haven't seen it in a long time. But anyways, the the thing is, it's funny that you're drinking what is considered like a fruity beer, like bear,
yeah,
banana, and I'm
yep,
drinking a chocolate and peanut butter porter, and it's like the same bitterness. But that's the weird thing about the IBU that I've always been thrown off by is that to me, uh, a Coors Light isn't bitter, but it doesn't taste as good as a porter. But I don't like
right.
bitter things. Like I have a hard time with just bitter in general.
Yeah,
I believe I do, unless I'm misunderstanding bitter.
no,
But
no,
chocolate and coffee, right? That's what
yes,
porters remind me of, and I don't really have a problem with them, even though I
yeah.
pour
Well,
tons
because
of milk in my
it's kind
coffee.
of like a different kind of bitterness, and then when you add
Yeah,
other flavors in with it, like
yeah,
coffee by itself, black coffee, I think tastes pretty shitty, even though I drink it.
right.
Because I'm just trying not to like put in all that extra stuff because I don't really need it. I'm just trying to drink that
Yeah,
coffee for
yeah, because burnt bee
the
water has 0 calories in it.
right, right. Yeah.
Right,
So it's
yeah,
like
I
certain
feel you.
stuff, just drinking it or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I always call it just like shitty hot bitter water. I like burnt bean water. Just like
Right,
it's just like
right,
it all tastes like hot bitter water to me. I don't know. But
right.
uh yeah, it's
But it's
it's
a
not
different kind of bitter than, like,
yeah, cuz like chocolate too, like chocolate without the sugar would taste like shit, but you add sugar and you're like, "Okay, all right."
right, right,
Like dark chocolate is a good example, not milk
right.
chocolate. That's completely different,
Yeah,
but
you take a bite of dark chocolate, which I fucking hate, and then uh you bite into the milk chocolate, which milk and sugar. Yeah, it's
yeah.
fantastic.
Yep. I'm gonna leave that
So
stir a
back to
little bit
beers.
longer. I got
You
another one I'm gonna crack in a little bit. I'll show
crack it
you what
anytime.
that's.
Make it
Well, I'm
make it
trying to get it cold
Oh, gotcha,
because I
gotcha.
fucked up and had it sitting here during the fishing topic, and then I'm like, "Oh, this is warm," and I've never had it before. I don't want to have my opinion of it skewed based
Gotcha.
off of me letting it sit here and get warm.
And get warm. Right, right. So the okay, back to beers and the topic of what what is it that you drink though when it comes to beers? Because like I love porters, right? But they're my
So
cold weather
yeah,
beers, and then I get lighter and like I kind of do the ambers even. It's really stupid to me. I feel like you transition beers during seasons. That's fucking weird, but I don't know. There's seriously
no,
something
dude, it
about it.
totally makes sense because there's some beers you can only get in certain seasons because they
Oh,
even know that
fuck.
it's like these are the times.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Which I wish some of them would be a little bit more because like a orange shandy I like a lot, but that's a
Oh
fall
yeah,
beer. Like they don't
yeah.
put that out. They're like summer shandies like lemon, and I'm like I'm not
Lemons.
really a lemon guy. Can I get that
Mm,
orange shandy year round? Like
right.
just lemon's fine. I'm just like not even like I know people like lemonade. Lemonade's not my jam. I'd rather prefer any other fruit juice.
Even grapefruit?
No, dude, that
No, nobody drinks
grapefruit's
grapefruit.
grapefruit's the
That
trick.
is my example of bitter that I
Yeah.
do not like, that I hate. That is not bitter. There's like I mean, that is
Something
bitter.
about it.
It's not
It's
sweet.
like a sour bitter, and it's like, how'd you get both?
Right.
Because, like, when you get a sour beer, the sour beers
Yeah.
have real low IBUs because there's
Right.
not much bitterness to them, but I'm not really a sour guy either, but I would still much rather have sour over bitter, you
Sure.
know? And
Yeah,
then
like, you'll
when
take a
it's
sour over an IPA, say that it's
yeah.
middle of summer,
Yep.
you're at a microbrewery.
Yeah.
You're like, "Well, give me the fucking sour." See, I
Yeah.
love the
And
sour
it
beers. I
and some
love
of it
sour beers.
sour beers are super good. Like I've some of them because there's some of them that are like a little bit too much. But I've definitely had because I had
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
where it was like a sour like IPA type where it was sour with the bitter, and I'm like, this is fucking disgusting. Like I get both, You give me two flavors I don't like, just sour and bitter at the same time. Like sour is good when you sweeten it up and you make it with other stuff. Like like just for example, for anybody else listening out there, like like the trolley sour bright crawlers, the like gummy worms. Those are
Yes.
sour, but those things are the shit. It's
Yeah.
like
Right, right, right.
it's like sometimes sour is pretty good.
Right, yeah,
So
for sure,
and
for
it's the
sure.
same thing with these like different, this banana bread is that 22 IBUs. If you gave me a 22
Right.
IBU beer, there's a good chance I'm not going to be into it. But
Sure.
because it has that sweetness and it tastes like banana bread, I still like it.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
I definitely a high IBU beer is a no-go for me. Like, I don't care what you mix the flavors with. I think anything over 30 for me is like, I am out.
I
I
am
have
out.
I have learned through shopping for beer and through buying stuff before I really knew or before I could before there was websites that would help me figure out the IBUs and whatnot.
Yeah, well, and even before the
Any
growth of that, because, like, there's been a boom of it, which we're gonna definitely get into, but,
Yeah.
like, there you look, I bet you Guinness doesn't even have their IBUs on there. That's a porter,
No.
it's bitter,
Right.
I bet you they don't print it.
Yeah.
Like, Coors
But it's
doesn't
not
print it, I had to fucking Google that shit.
right. Yep, exactly. And a lot of them don't print it. So you got to Google that shit. But I have learned through experience that any can that has the picture of a hop on it, I'm out.
Yep.
They,
I
they're,
feel you big time,
dude.
dude.
If I see the hop, I'm just like, for sure. You're like, the hop is the star, and I'm like, get it out of my face. Then I don't
Nope.
want anything to do with it. I want the rest of the ingredients to be the star, and the hops to be like you pick the right hops to like accent the malt or whatever else is in beer. I don't know how you make beer, but I want it to
Right,
be
right.
enjoyable. I don't like that bitter aftertaste. I was
Yeah.
drinking with a guy one time who was having sips of the beer, and every time he took a sip and he would put the glass back down, it would leave like a little rim of foam on it.
Mhm.
And he's like, "That's the sign of a good beer." Every time I've had one of those beers since, I'm just like, apparently this is the sign of a good beer, but they all taste like dog shit to me, man. I can't. It's just not for me.
That's so good. And so to put IBUs, like I IBU, Coors 10, Bud Light 6. Those are my drinkers, so I looked them up.
Okay.
This porter 24. That is my enjoyable beer.
Yeah.
I am I'm right there with you with the hop thingy.
Yep.
And the thing about that is there's hazy IPAs, I believe
Mm.
is like the word. Like
Yep.
hazy IPAs usually are hazy because they have fruit in them,
Okay.
but they're still like fucking 70 or something
Yeah,
crazy
there's
like that
still
on the
IPAs.
IBU. It's just like
I've never had an IPA that I liked.
me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither. Even when it is like a hazy mango or some shit like that, right?
Right, and they have good names. That's why I've tried some.
I know, same here. Fucking A,
Yeah.
man. They get me because I'm like, "Ooh, you want,"
Mhm.
like, they give it some fucking cool Bob Marley name with the word mango in it, and you're like,
Right.
"Kick ass, give me that
Yeah.
beer."
Right. Yeah, you're just like, "Oh," as I'm giving that a shot, and then you drink it, and
Yeah.
you're just like you buy a six pack. That's the worst. You buy a six pack, you're
Yep.
like 2 sips into the first beer, and you're like, "Ah, shit. I got another 5 of these."
You're like, "Fuck,
And I hate
fuck."
wasting stuff, so I'm gonna drink them, just
Right, right.
torturing myself.
So I'm gonna go get a pack of Coors, I'm gonna drink 2 of them first, and then I'm gonna crack into these IPAs.
Right, right, right. Yeah, dude. I like trying beers, but I'm definitely learning, like, what I like and what I don't like. And it's
Yeah,
all and I've just done my research on, like, because I don't buy a lot of beer. Maybe I might start again because
yeah,
I've been on this vodka or not vodka, I've been on this, like, whiskey kick, I was buying all these
sure.
whiskeys, but I buy a bottle of whiskey, I drink some of it, and then I leave it. I'm kinda, like, getting the met and then I started drinking, like,
Yep,
different
yep.
tequilas.
Sure,
There's not a
yeah.
lot of different tequilas out there, so I've sampled, like, a lot of the like, mid level, not the high end stuff, but like the good mid level stuff. And
Yeah.
I've drank a lot of those now, and it's like I found a couple of good ones, and I'm like, there's not a lot of difference in these like there is with whiskey. So I'm like, I think I found a couple of good ones, and I'll just stick with
Yep.
those.
Yep.
I'm kind of over sampling these and trying to find a different type of tequila. I just found one where I could barely taste it, and I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty cool. I like
Right.
how I can put this with like some tonic water and not taste it. Just have one of those nights where like I'm not really feeling like tasting anything, but it's the
Right.
Friday night and I'd like to get a buzz.
Right,
you know?
right. I just wanna get buzzed, and I just wanna sit in this chair, and I just wanna
Right.
fucking hang out with myself.
Yeah. So, but I definitely like sampling different beers and stuff. But yeah, it's all the different like my go-to is like wheats. Like I like
Oh,
Blue
yeah.
Moon's my favorite. I've wore a
Oh,
Blue Moon shirt
yeah, dude,
on
that's
this.
right,
Like
yep.
that's just my jam, man. I love
Yeah.
Blue Moon. I can drink
I know your
that
Blue Moon shit.
anytime. And then
Mhm.
Shock Top is okay.
Yeah, because
It's
it's
very
really close to
similar.
Blue Moon. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
but that one's
I've been lit off that a
it's
couple
not
times.
it's not as good. And Blue Moon's got maybe the best story of how they ever came up with the name. I don't know if you're familiar,
No, please
but
share.
so the Blue Moon, they were just like, how they always make beers and when they're trying to like sell some stuff. Obviously, you make a beer and then you like drink it and you try to figure out
Yeah,
how, what should we call this stuff?
yep.
And I don't know who it was that they were talking to or whatever, but they had this beer, they made it, and they had somebody else sample it, and they were like, a beer this good, it only comes around once in a blue moon. And then they're just
Nice.
like, oh, bingo,
Yeah,
there it is.
that's
Yeah.
it, that's it.
So,
Yeah,
and I totally agree. Like, I think it's a stellar beer, and
I
obviously,
agree.
it's one of the best selling ones out there. It's super good. So,
Yep. Yeah.
and
Now that you
I've,
say that, that's actually one of the few beers that I'm like, "Hey, if I'm gonna if me and Tim are drinking, just make sure there's some Blue Moon around."
yeah, dude.
Like, I when you said it, I was like, "Oh, yeah, of course." That's, of course, the go-to for sure.
Yeah,
Love me some Blue Moon.
yeah,
I did not look up that one. I didn't do any extra research on that one, is
right.
what I should say,
And that
but
that one's a little bit more full flavored than some of the other ones. So, like, if I'm
and
going
cloudy
like,
too,
yeah,
don't like, going back to the hazy IPAs is which why they caught me, uh, not off guard. I that's not the word. That's where my brain was going, but, like, why they caught my attention was
sure,
because they were hazy, obviously,
yep,
by
yep,
definition, but they were hazy because of the fruit, and Blue Moon is technically an ale, right? Am I wrong
right.
there? Yeah.
Um, I actually, I'm sure it says it here.
Yeah.
I just
I
googled the IBU. Yeah, wheat ale.
Yep, yep, a wheat, right, you said wheat already, but a wheat
Yep,
ale. Yep,
yep.
and
Belgian wheat ale. I don't know if Belgian makes
yeah, I'm not
a
sure.
big
I'm
difference.
sure it does. I'm sure it does to people who really, really know, but, like, okay, so it's an ale, and ale is bud, right? Bud's clear, essentially.
Yep.
Blue Moon's not clear. That's opaque as fuck. It's like,
No.
you can't see
Right.
through and you
Yeah. No,
can't
you
see through a
can't.
Blue Moon if you pour it into a clear glass.
Right. And if you
But
order it at a bar, it always comes with a slice of orange. It's
right.
classy.
Oh, it would just it's that cherry on top. It's that orange on top.
That
We need to change the
orange. Yep.
saying.
Dude, I like it. Yep. And I just checked 11 IBUs. So, like,
Oh,
right in
see?
that nice. Yeah. But if
Sweet
I'm
spot
talking
around
like
there.
easy drinking, like if I got something going on and I'm just trying, like, if I know we're going to be like sitting on the river bend all day fishing or whatever, like
Right.
Coors. I like
Yep.
uh, Blue Moon's my favorite like drinking beer, but like if I'm just drinking beer to have beer, like just constantly cracking one and like we're just drinking or whatever,
Yep.
Coors or Keystone, I mean they're like the same shit, but
Yeah,
Coors
for
for the
sure.
most part. Um, but yeah, I like to dabble in all sorts of like I like almost everything that Shiner makes. Like the Shiner Bock. You ever have
Oh,
any of that stuff? Shiner Bock?
yeah, that sounds familiar now. Where are they
Yeah.
from, though?
I'm not. I think it's a German beer. I don't know where Shiner's from, but that
Interesting.
doesn't mean that.
Because the Shiner box sounds familiar, but I don't know. But that's
Yeah,
actually a perfect transition into like the whole reason why I wanted to bring this up is because uh, the rise of the microbrew. I mean, we've already been dancing around it and everything with the IPAs and all this other shit, and it has totally changed the way that I look at beer. 100%. I mean, it's great that it started happening at the time when I was coming out of in insane amounts of alcoholism. But the point that I'm trying to get to, I got to stop bringing that up. It doesn't matter right now. The thing that I'm trying to say is the rise of the microbrewery has been crazy over the last, I
yeah,
don't know, well, let's say 10 years or something like that. I have a ton in my area. You got to have a lot in your area. Does it
yeah.
influence the way that you've been looking at beers? And Blue Moon, in a way, was a microbrew, and
Right,
that has influenced me. Just looking at Blue Moon, now that you bring it up, looking back at my history with Blue Moon, it's like, oh yeah, man, I always loved Blue Moon. It's always been one of those sort of like go tos,
right,
and it's weird for me to have a go to. It was weird at the time of Blue Moon coming out of just like a go to tastes good beer, like a beer to just
yeah.
drink. I'm not going to shotgun a Blue Moon. Now give me a chance, give me a challenge,
I'll try.
ask me to shotgun one.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll
yeah,
do
yeah,
it. I'll fucking
yeah.
do it. It'll
Oh
be
yeah,
great.
shit. Yeah, I do. You're putting the challenge on it. I'll shotgun an IPA. I hate every second of it. I'll do it.
7.5% IPA.
Give me
I'll
the
do it.
most bitter
Right, right,
shit
right,
out there. I'll do it. You know,
right.
it's I'm not gonna like it, but I'll do it.
Right, but it's so tasty, and that's the thing is like we've been talking about taste the whole time, and the microbrew has changed. Like me, I'm drinking a Waconia Brewery. It's tiny little. They're literally in a strip mall.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. I think that I just sorry. I got a little bit sidetracked in my head. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's gonna have to happen. Find the most bitter beer I can and shotgun that shit.
Oh
Just to see
boy,
what
there's the
happens.
TikTok,
Are you
huh?
just gonna be like, "Oh,
And then
oh,"
fucking projectile vomit it
just like, "This is
on the
terrible."
spot.
So,
But no,
before
flavor. Like that's literally because I think that you've made it clear. I mean, I feel like
yeah,
unless I'm just drunk, I feel like you've just been saying flavor, flavor, flavor. And
for
me
sure
too. Me
flavor.
too.
Yeah.
Totally chasing the flavor or interested in new flavors, intrigued by new flavors,
Yes,
whatever.
very much so, yeah, when you hear something like we were talking about, like, just even the title, that because the flavor the idea of what that flavor would be is so intriguing that we end up tricking ourselves into buying shit beer sometimes because the name was so good, you know, because it's just like how the flavor is gonna be
Yeah, 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 yeah,
on
yeah.
point. But yeah, so yeah, dude, I definitely like uh microbrews. Real quick, Shiner is in Texas. It's an
Oh, no
actual
shit.
town of 2,000 people. It's a sport. It's
Eh,
Spoetzl Spotzel Brewing in Shiner, Texas.
oh,
So it's made here in America. Every bottle
nice.
is made down in Texas and stuff.
That's a
But
weird place. Not a lot of
yeah,
Germans down there.
right.
If you would have said like, just outside the Twin Cities here, I would have been like,
Yeah,
yeah, lots of Germans over there. We still have that weird Minnesota accent, even
yeah.
all those Germans, but
So going back to like the microbrews and stuff, definitely flavor.
Flavor
But I'm,
Flav.
but yeah, yeah, boy. I could do a better one, but my kid's sleeping. Uh, so, um, yeah, dude, microbrews, definitely into them. And this one
Oh
in
shit, dude.
Montevideo, this I've had
Yeah.
this on here before, but like that's my moniker basically because it's
Oh, dude.
talking waters. So my name is Tim Wagner,
TW. Yeah,
TW.
yeah. I
It's
see it.
perfect. And I go to
Sick.
the store tonight and I get these banana beers, but also locally they're selling these Talking Water beers
No way, dude.
in the West Side Liquor that I went to, and this one is
Sick.
a Miko Milk Stout. Full
No
circle.
way, dude.
Yeah, dude. So
No
I've
way.
never tried this before. Um, but yeah, this is the
I
most expensive
love me
beer
a
can
milk
I've ever
stout.
bought. It was only $5.50, but for one can, I never
Ooh,
bought.
yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at some other ones, and I'm like, it's beer day. I should buy one of these expensive ones. And then I saw this Talking Water one for $5.50, and I'm like, we don't have to get too crazy.
What is the like that one's a microbrew, so that is how
Ooh,
I even was brought to the attention of
smells good.
micro. Oh, that looks so fucking good, dude. Fuck. But that's even because of microbrews, that's how I feel like IBUs have been brought to the forefront and how alcohol content even has been brought to the forefront. There was the no, not there was. It looking back at things that
Yeah,
are staples of the liquor store, your, Coors and your Miller Lights and all those things. They don't usually list those IBUs. They don't usually list the alcohol content. And it's like the rise of the microbrew has
yeah,
actually brought that up.
right. This one actually doesn't list. I was trying to look. It
Wow.
it lists the alcohol, but it doesn't list the IBUs.
Really?
And it's tasty and it's nice and sweet on the front end, but it is kind of bitter on the back end.
Really?
But it's like because of the other stuff that it comes with, I think that this is still pretty decent. Like I think that it is a little bit more bitter, and I knew that I would like. Well, I had a good feeling I would like this, but it's because I've had some of their other beers.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
got this cup or this glass from being there, and then they had other stuff, and we're like getting flights and trying every stuff and
Right.
or trying every stuff, just saying stupid shit. But
You
um,
got it. You got it. Keep
yeah,
going.
this it's it's good, smells good. It definitely tastes like coffee, like you said.
It does. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. But it's like a sweet coffee. It even says it on the back. It's like brown notes of brown sugar and roasted coffee and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But it's yeah, tasty stuff, man. That's a good, but yeah, like I think you're right. Like when I was younger, like you just try random ass shit, and then you'd be like, "That's not what I like."
Right.
And now you have the IBUs listed on the can, which I might have learned what IBUs were from seeing it on a can from a microbrew first, and then being
Right.
like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
So then you learn about it from the
Uh-huh.
can, and you're just like, "Oh, I need to." And now I kind of try to look for that, but there's
Yep.
still a decent amount of cans that don't put it on there, and I'm just like, "Oh, son
Uh,
of a shit." But I think it's
well, as
almost
long as it doesn't have a hop on it, I guess
right.
I'll give it a
Yeah,
shot.
exactly. But I think it's almost kind of like what I was talking about before with sometimes the IBUs, even if it says a high number or a low number, like it might not come off completely accurate because of what else is in there.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like a Stella Artois,
Okay.
that one's a little bit bitter to me.
Okay.
And that one is relatively low IBUs. And it's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other ones. Or like, here's a real good example. I'm not a
Okay.
big fan of Heineken,
Yeah, me
and
neither.
Heineken I think
God,
is
we have
less.
similar taste in beers.
Yeah, and a Heineken I think is a less IBU than this banana bread one. And this banana bread one I would drink 100 times out of 100. If you were like, you want banana
Yeah.
bread or Heineken, banana bread, bro. Hook me up with the banana bread. So
Yes. No, 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 I'm right there with you for sure on that, 100%. Because I have well, I mean, that just brings it back to what I was saying about the flavors and the microbrews and, like, the I definitely didn't know before microbrews, let me just say that, what IBUs and all that shit was. So,
right.
I will definitely chalk it up to understanding that and having that influence my purchases 100%. And it has been so awesome to be able to go to these microbrews and then pick up the flight, a small beer
Yep.
or,
Yep.
whatever, and give it a shot and go like, "Oh yeah, fucking it doesn't matter. It's an IPA. It tastes like shit."
Mhm.
Like,
That's the best part
that's it.
about going to the microbrew for sure, though, is like the opportunity to just get to sample everything where you get to especially when they let you choose your own flight. I love that. Where when you have to choose like between this flight or that flight, I'm like, okay, I kind of think
Right.
those two over there sound good and these two over here sound good, but this Talking Waters lets you try everything. And you know what they had there that I thought was pretty cool and I've never had before was a Mexican hot chocolate. So
What?
yeah, dude, it's like the chocolate. If I remember it correctly, it's kind of like the chocolate stout that I'm drinking now, but it
Okay.
also has like hints of jalapeno. There's like heat
Oh,
to it
shit.
too.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
and it was I've never had anything like that in a beer, and it was different, but it was dope. I don't know if I would drink a lot of them, but in a
Right.
flight, it was like, whew, look at this. I'm expanding my worlds. This is a whew,
Right, right, right.
you know.
Yeah, dude, for
Yeah,
real.
and then they had a couple of other good ones, and I really enjoy going to some of those. But yeah, if it was a brew, I've been to other ones where you're kind of like, God damn, they got nothing good here. You know,
Yep,
where
yep.
they're like over the top and they're like
Oh, yeah.
tamest ale is still a little bit bitter because it's almost
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
they're those kind of guys or
Yep,
gals that are just like
yep.
even our tamest ale has a little bit of this IPA because we know you love it. And you're just like, I do
Right.
not. I am in the wrong spot. And then and the other shitty part about some of these microbrews is like, is there another place in town I can go drink? And they're just like, this is the only spot in town you can do anything. There's not even a bar you can go to get a regular course. There's not dick in this town. There's 200 people and
Dude,
this microbrew.
yeah.
Like, I guess another blonde ale, please.
Which is always the just like, I'll take that. That's the Coors Light of the microbrew world,
Right,
the blonde
right,
ale,
right. Yep,
which is
yep.
fine. I like them. I like them
I like
just
them
fine.
too, but I've had shitty ones of those too, where you're
I
like,
know.
it's like strawberry blonde ale, and the
Yep.
picture on the bottle is like some, like it's like a 1950s like bomber, you know, like the girl on the side of the plane where it's like
Yeah.
a cartoon. She got like short
I
shorts and stuff, and you're just like, I like the title, I like the picture, everything
Yep.
about this sounds good, and then you sip it and you're just like, "Oh, you have tricked me. You I do not like what
Yes.
you've done
Yes,
here."
for sure. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's it's good to finally have this conversation with you to know that like, hey, yeah, we should or can go to microbreweries together
Mhm.
with no problem, and we'll figure it out. It's like,
Yeah, for sure, but the best part is going with, like, good friends where you guys can, like, order a bunch of stuff, and
yeah,
then you could just be like, try this," and then, like, share it and not be, like, weirded out with somebody else where it's just like, "I don't know if I really wanna drink out of your glass," like,
right,
it's
right.
alcohol, it's, self, uh,
Well,
cleansing, like, the germs are
not at
not here.
fucking 6%, but like,
No, I know, but I like to tell myself that, "Don't mess with my let me have
mess
this."
with my world perception.
Oh, man.
But no, it's one of those. It's a situation where we've never talked about this, and now one time I remember you was it no, you text me about you had marshmallows in your beer. I think I had marshmallows in a beer one time up near your
Ooh,
cabin.
excuse me. Dude, that might have been the Mexican hot chocolate.
Really? Yeah.
Could have been. I don't
Oh,
know where else I would have had it.
dude. Okay,
Doesn't that
so
make sense to have it in a hot
one
chocolate?
time
I
we
can't
got up
remember that
there
beer.
early, a little bit ahead of you, and we dipped off. Um, oh man, it was a decent amount of time because it's not like within it's not within a decent distance of a weekend at the cabin, right?
Sure.
And so we dipped off early, because we knew we were ahead of you, we purposely took off at like 10, right?
Yep.
And we knew you guys had to work later than that. And I just said, oh, let's go find a fucking brewery because want to taste some beers. And I got a s'mores beer.
All
And of
right.
course, and the marshmallow part wasn't actually built into the beer. It was like the marshmallows were supposed to soak up the beer, whatever. And then I sent you that. And then I swear it was like 3 years later, you sent me one back. And I do think it was the Mexican chocolate because
Definitely,
no, go ahead.
it's the only one I can think of that I would have
Yeah.
had like that.
Because I think you said something to the effect of like, this also is spicy. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what
for
the
sure.
fuck, dude? That's crazy.
Excuse me. Yeah,
Which
that
spicy beers are crazy, but to see a beer with marshmallows in it and then just be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, it burns on the way down." It's like,
yeah, dude.
what
That
the
one
fuck?
was before I found omeprazole too. Omeprazole is like a heartburn medication. So
I
like
know.
that time I like it sounded good and I had it and like right after I had it, I'm just like, ooh, that was a little bit of a mistake. That's burning.
Funny you
But
bring up
omeprazole is a
omeprazole. I
game
literally
changer, dude.
just started taking
It's a
omeprazole
fucking
between
game changer, bro. I'm buying
podcasts.
like
Between the
I'm
last podcast and this podcast, I went to the doctor and they're just like, just you should try this.
yeah, game changer cuz I went from being like I like sriracha, but I don't know if I can put it on much till I found omeprazole and now I'm buying like craft hot sauces. I'm like all sorts of hot sauces on everything.
Well, craft hot sauces are definitely a different topic from craft beers.
Yeah, dude.
That's
Yeah,
like a whole
I tell
nother
you
topic.
what, you can go to Walmart though, and I think it's Dave's. Dude, I know
Like,
it's a little
are
bit
you wait, Dave's? Are you talking about fucking famous Dave's?
no, I think it's just called Dave's. I might be wrong on that, but there's 3 different kinds that I have found. I bought all 3 and I love them all on different things. There is a citrus ginger one,
Oh, fuck
a
yes. Already
roasted
know what you
red
were
pepper garlic one, and then like a
home run.
jalapeno green one. Like jalapeno green one, obviously
Mm,
on
mhm.
tacos it's awesome.
Yeah.
The red garlic one is working with like all my Italian pastas and whatnot, and that ginger one I just use it straight up as a dipping sauce for chicken nuggets.
Yeah,
It's so
dude.
fucking dope. Do all
Fuck
3 of them,
yes.
and they're like vegan sauces, and I'm not
No
vegan, but
shit.
like whatever, they're vegan and they're
Mhm.
like you can tell they're real, like legit stuff because like the oil
Yep.
separates, so you got to shake it before you use it and stuff. But they're
Right.
dude, they're dope. You can find them at
That's
Walmart and
sick,
get them at
dude.
Walmart, bro, and
I'm
get them in
surprised by that.
my hood if you can, because I buy them at Walmart in my neighborhood and they're like 350. I saw them on a shelf in the cities and they are like 5.99. I was like,
Oh,
what the fuck?
fuck,
I
dude.
definitely wouldn't have bought all 3 of them if I was paying $6 a bottle. I got
Right.
3.90, three forty
Right.
nine
Holy
where
fuck.
I live.
Oh my god, that's
I know.
ridiculous.
Isn't that a crazy price difference? Anyways,
Yeah.
craft beers. Yeah. So,
Well, no,
dude,
but you're not. I mean, you side tangent, but it's
yeah.
hot sauces and beers, dude, have had a crazy like craft
Yeah. Well, I mean, isn't it
about
crazy
them
that
lately.
sriracha even like blew up over the last couple of years?
I
You
know,
think
yeah,
back on it, that shit's been in every Chinese restaurant you've ever ate in for as
ever.
long as you could ever remember. And
Yeah, it
everybody's like,
comes from.
all of a
I think I
sudden,
looked it up one time. It comes from like the '60s.
yeah. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, we got to put hot, like sriracha on everything. It was always right there.
It was always right there.
You know, like, why is
Yeah,
it now
I
that
know.
it took this long to catch on?
Well, also kind of like
And now there's
beers with the
srirachas made by
breweries, with
everybody.
the, like, IBUs and stuff like that. It's just like Guinness has been around for just as
True.
long as fucking Coors, or
Very,
probably
very true.
longer than Coors, to be honest. I mean, that's fucking Europe and making beer forever, right?
Yeah.
And
But it's
light
like,
beer is actually new thing to America, like refrigeration. It's like
right, right. But
it's
this
actually
is,
fairly new.
but the hot sauce is almost different because like the new hot sauces are like on along the same level. But like you're like, oh, the Guinness has been there the whole time, and like you didn't know about the IBUs, but people still drank it. Where the
Oh.
sriracha's been there the whole time, but people didn't really eat it until all of a sudden they tried it once, and then everybody's just like,
Mm.
"Whoa, what the fuck is this?"
Mhm. Mhm.
It didn't catch on though. That crazy Chinese pepper. You remember that? You remember that from back in the day?
No.
Me, like we would go to that King's Walk
Yeah.
in like where
Yeah.
we grew
Yeah.
up, and there was that Chinese pepper that you would put on stuff, and it was like crazy spicy for like 2 seconds, and then the flavor was gone. You'd just be
Oh
like,
my
"That's the hottest
god.
pepper in the world." Oh, it's gone.
The sh
It was
Was it a like, an actual pepper that you'd
it
put
was in
on
a pepper
something?
shaker. It was
It
the
was in a
weirdest shit
pepper
I've ever
shaker.
seen, and it was
Yeah.
like grayish, black, where like it should have been like regular pepper. You shake it on your stuff, you eat it, you go, "Oh, it's hot. Oh, it's over."
What?
It's the weirdest shit I've ever ate in my whole life,
We
and I
ate there
don't
so
I've never
much.
had it anyplace else.
With each other, with the family, we ate there so much, I don't fucking
Yeah.
remember that.
You don't remember that? We used to eat it all, like, we used to, like, eat spoonfuls and be like, "Oh, hey, I'm better."
Even me? Probably.
I don't know about you. I
Okay,
I
I don't
remember
remember.
doing it with some people,
That's
but I
fucking
thought you
weird.
were there with some of them.
That's
Who
really
the fuck
fucking
else
weird.
am I eating at King's Walk? I don't know.
Well, man.
It was a long time ago.
Uh-oh. No. No. God damn it. Can you believe it? We made it fucking 2 hours and then
Then
it
all of a sudden, just
I can't believe it, dude. I even had the, like, setup and everything out. We were just gonna finish that last minute, then I was like, "Yeah, alright, real AF TV, fucking follow us on Twitter and shit."
Yeah, beers.
Yeah,
That's what happens, man.
exactly. Well, fuck, man. I think that I'm not ready to just wrap it up right at this second because of that shit that happened.
Sure.
Um, but also because this was a conversation that me and you have never had about beers. Well, we drink beers. That's
Right, right.
You know what I mean? It's so weird. We've just hung out 100 times drinking beers and never actually talked about beers. And it's just like, oh shit, yeah, Tim's into
Right.
beers. And
Oh, for
weird
sure.
enough, we have like the same palate almost when it comes
Yeah,
down to
dude.
it.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, I guess now I think back about it, and it's always been just like, if we're someplace where we get a beer, it's like, this beer is pretty good. Is it? Oh, maybe I should try one. Because I remember doing that too. Like, you have a beer and you like it,
Oh
and I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, I guess, yeah, let me try one of those. And I'm like, I'll order one. Yeah, I'll have what he's having. It sounds
right,
good.
right,
And then we just talk about other stuff like, oh, yeah. And then, this is a pretty good beer. And it never went into it any more in depth.
right.
It was
And
always
just kept
just like,
talking about all the other
yeah,
shit that we wanted to talk
yeah.
about.
Never talked about like like what kind of beers we liked. It was just always just like, we agree.
Right.
A plus. Like it. Yes.
And on with the conversations that were
Yeah.
happening before we were
Yes.
ordering beers.
Yeah. Good beer. Good beer. Mm-hmm. And
Good day, sir.
now
Oh, the
back to
Newsy
talking
Boys need to
about
come back, dude. We haven't done the Newsy Boys since like forever.
right. That'd be pretty good
Well,
to
I
do it.
tell you, this beer was fantastic.
Right. In the middle of a bar, just drinking and just like, hey, good beer here. Good beer. It's good beer here.
Like, what the fuck? Just both of us doing that? They'd be like, what the hell are they doing?
Just like, they have had a lot. Must be pretty good. They've drank a lot of them.
Oh, shit. All right.
First beer. First beer here. April the 7th. First beer we've had today on this date. Hear ye, hear ye.
On this date, on the 22nd of 2022.
On this date, Josh bought the beer, thought it was good beer. I said, let me try the beer. Sounds like a good review. I had the beer. I said good beer. We both said good beer. Good beer here.
Oh my God. And go over to realaf.tv and let us know what kind of beers you like, because realaf.tv has a contact page and you can find it at realaf.tv/contact if you just want to get fancy and go straight to the contact page. Let us know, but even better if you go over to YouTube and you search Real AF TV. Remember, real like fish and reel, because we be a podcast about fishing, but then we do the random take in the second half of the podcast, just so you can get to know us a little bit more, so we can get to know each other a little bit more, like we just did here with the bitter stuff. Hey, hey, hey. Knowing each other
Learning.
for like 20 some years or some shit now. Over 20 years.
Oh, yep.
Yep. Over
Yep.
20 years, dude.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy
Crazy.
to think about.
This is where like you have the like weird fade up, like flashback. We both like look up.
What the fucking means?